What's up, you guys? It's your boy Xander here, back with another video. I actually had to refilm this intro part, so the other part will be back in the normal quality. But we are here. We are at episode 10 of Justin Bieber's 10-part docuseries Seasons. It is the finale, and I'm super excited to get into this episode, to talk to you guys about this episode and what I think about the series as a whole. This episode opened up with Lindsay. She is the original One Less Lonely Girl. So if you guys watched the Never Say Never documentary way back in 2011, almost 10 years ago, you get to see her. She was the girl that Justin surprised and brought on stage. And so the episode opens up with her, talking about that experience. And then you see Justin come in and, get with her, hug her and everything. So it was really kind of cool to see that, because the episode is definitely about growth. In this episode, there are so many stars. There's like a tiny clip shot of Shawn Mendes. You got Matthew Espinoza. You got DJ Khaled. You got Big Sean. You got Usher. You got Billie Eilish. So it's definitely star-packed. It's jam-packed. And they're all just talking about basically Justin's evolution and his growth. In this episode, you do get to see that they're filming this like 3 weeks before the release of the album. So when we were watching the earlier episodes, they were still filming for the series. And you really got to see a lot of, the different stuff that was going on. You got to see rehearsals and things like that. And it really, the episode focused on Justin's growth, as a person, and his relationships with his family, with his team, and how they've kind of changed and evolved. So you get to see Jasmine, you get to see Jackson, his brother and sister, and they talk about like just Justin being away and what it feels like to have him back home and things like that. But this episode was really, really, really crucial. I think it was a good way to wrap up everything. It focused on, Justin's growth as an artist, his growth as a person. Usher talks about, he says this one thing in there where he talks about how it's really hard and people don't understand, as a kid, never getting to experience childlike things and having to live life through a perfect lens when you're not perfect, and how really hard that can be. And then Big Sean talks about like lightning striking twice, when you get hit after hit, and then people start to expect these things from you, and it just gets harder and harder. So this episode definitely was an important piece to the story. It was a great ending to the story, because you really got to see Justin. You really got to see Justin for who he is, and not who, the media has portrayed him to be all these years. So I was really thankful for that. This episode, you get to see some of the listening party and how excited the fans were to kind of get to go to the listening party in London. And he talks about where he's going back to his roots to release an R&B inspired album. But Changes is really just pure R&B magic. So like I always say, Justin Bieber was definitely back in his R&B bag. But it was a really, really good episode. And I have so much more respect for Justin Bieber as a person and as an artist, ever since, he started to be more transparent about his struggles and his walk with God and things like that. Anybody with millions and millions of followers who is unashamed to proclaim, their faith and to talk about God and just, try to reach out to people and try to help people, they'll always have my respect. And one of the best things about, this Changes era and the Seasons documentary was just getting to see Justin's growth. They kind of bring us in and they let us see, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, and you got to see kind of what was going on. So it may seem like that for celebrities, the media is all in their business and knows like every single thing, but a lot of that stuff that was talked about in the Seasons documentary, like I had no idea. So I learned a lot. So I really love that episode, but I want to talk a little bit about the documentary as a whole. Seasons as a whole is a great example of some of the negative things that go along with superstardom, that go along with fame. Usher said in the documentary, it's a blessing, but it's also a curse. And so, especially for young stars, how many young stars have we seen, grow up in the spotlight and just go bat bonkers crazy? And I think a lot of people, see that and don't realize the stress that they're under. So, it's hard for adults to maintain that lifestyle. So just imagine how it is for kids when they're, underdeveloped, they don't really have the maturity to handle a lot of things, but they're expected to handle fame. And I think Seasons was a great example of some of the negative things that can happen when you're not prepared, for that. As a young star, there's a lot of stress and a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. And Justin even talks about that. Like when he was younger, the respect was different and things like that because he's a kid. So people in the industry, it's a blood sport. And a lot of people didn't respect him in the industry. And so he's talking about how now that he's an adult, he can kind of get a handle on things. And the respect level is different because he's an adult, he's a grown man, he's a married man, he's making his decisions. And he says before he wasn't really worried about everybody else, he was just worried about himself. But now as an adult, in the industry and in this era, he can kind of make those decisions as an adult, and he can think about the people around them and, make them happier, which makes him happier, and just basically change the overall tone of everything. And so that was really good to see. I do want to say that the season's documentary definitely changed my thoughts on Justin. I try to separate the artist from the art because really, in my opinion, for the most part, the art is what matters, not the person in general. So I don't really get too much into people's personal lives, but it was really good to kind of see, Justin Bieber go through what he calls seasons, to go through these seasons to get where he is now. And I can definitely say that I see a change. I can definitely say I see growth and I see maturity. And so, I'm always praying for Justin, always keeping him in my prayers, always keeping his team in my prayers because, it's not an easy thing to talk about, your shortcomings. It's not an easy thing to talk about when you stumble. It's not an easy thing to talk about, what it's like to have to deal with that. And so being able to just come out and talk about that and your struggles with faith and your struggles with God and your struggles with addiction, and getting over that and getting past that and getting through that, that's a really brave thing to do. I loved Changes, the album. It is definitely going to be on repeat for me. But I will definitely come back and watch, a lot of these episodes because they, it's a good message here. And I think hopefully that inspires people. Hopefully it inspires people to be more transparent, but hopefully more than anything, it helps people to understand that it is okay to stumble. It's okay to fall. Just get back up, get you some support, get you some help. I always say, we have this mentality that, when you fall, dust yourself off and get back up and try again. But I think this documentary takes it a step further to let people know that, you dust yourself off, you get back up, you get the help you need, you get the support system you need, and then you go after what you want. And so I'm really thankful to Justin and his team for this amazing documentary, for this amazing finale. I really, really, really loved it. I know the Believers loved it. So I'm really just thankful for it and the message that it sent and the lessons, that were in these episodes. So that's all I really have to say about, the finale and the amazing docuseries seasons. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, about the series, what your favorite episodes were, and what were some of the things that you saw in the series that you really, really loved. I definitely talk about my favorite parts in each of the episodes as they go along. If this is your first time seeing one of these episodes, I will link my playlist down below where I did a review on every episode. At the time of speaking, I think one of the episodes is taken down for copyright, but you get the gist, and I always go back and kind of talk about previous ones. So, like always, guys, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that bell so that you guys know when I post new content. It's really good for your health, I promise. And then make sure you share the video. This is Xander, and I am signing out. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.